Hey everyone, how are we doing today? This is James Sweeney, aka SplitSuit, and today we're going to review a hand sent in by Julien. This is a hand from 1-2 where Julien has ace-4 and ends up flopping a straight and needs to figure out how to maximize with it. So let's check it out. Okay, so in this situation, we're in early middle position. We decide to open limp, and here we go. So, Julien, please know that I only say this because I love you and I want to see you improve, but please don't ever do this again. This is just not what you want to be doing. Now, in Julien's write-up, he did say this. He said, often when I raise preflop, everyone folds. Well, that's a great thing, right? I don't mind fighting for pots preflop, going heads up sometimes, picking up pots uncontested preflop and non-0% of the time as well. These are good things, right? Open limping has its place. Limping preflop has its place. There are times and reasons and hands to do it, but they're all strategic and they're made with good logic and rationale. A logic like they fold when I raise is not a good logic for adding more preflop limps into your game, especially with things like ace-4 when you're open limping. There's lots of players that can have position on you that can either limp behind and take position or raise and apply pressure to you. You're not deep enough to get away with doing this. You probably don't have any limp re-raise strategy. You probably don't have a limp call and post-flop plan. This is just a very, very bad spot and something that I really don't want to see you ever do again, right? And I get it. When we're playing live, sometimes it can be boring. It can be frustrating. We want to get involved more often, but we have to stay disciplined. Our discipline is what allows us to have an edge in this game over players who don't have the same kind of discipline that we do. This play right here is very undisciplined, and I don't want to see you make it again. So, look for spots where you can raise it. And again, raising can be totally fine. If everyone tends to just play really, really fit or fold against you preflop, and yeah, they're going to continue if they have decent hands, but they're going to fold a super large chunk of the time, sure, you could just raise and go from there. I don't normally suggest raising ace-4 offsuit from early middle position, but if you have a good read on your table, fine. But open limping, probably not what you're going to want to be doing, I assure you. Okay, so as played, we end up getting another couple of limpers, end up going 4-way to it, and we end up flopping a really, really great hand. And fine. But here's what's going to happen. We're going to end up reviewing this post-flop hand, and this is a spot that we really shouldn't be analyzing. Right? We shouldn't be analyzing ace-4, monkey in the middle, flopping a nuttish hand and trying to figure out what to do, because it's just not a spot that should show up. And this is one of those things that a lot of players want me to do and want to get reviewed in the first place. Like, okay, well, I made this initial mistake, but then I really want to talk about like how to play after the fact. And in poker, it's really good to have a good shovel and know how to dig yourself out of the mistakes that we make, right? We're always going to make mistakes. I get that. Some mistakes are easier to avoid than others, but still. But oftentimes what players do is they find themselves trying to figure out like, okay, how do I maximize when I flopped like random super strength in a spot where I really never should have been flopping super strength, right? We're analyzing like the smallest percentage thing that should happen when really we should not be analyzing that spot much at all. So it's kind of one of those situations where like, what should you put more focus on? How to get out of jail if you get put in there, or how to avoid getting put in jail altogether. Right? In this situation, our limp put us in jail. We're focusing on the wrong stuff by trying to figure out how the heck to get out of it. So in this exact situation, there's a check. Here decides to bet. Love that. There's a call. There's a raise. And here decides to go for the 3-bet. And I love this. I love the size. I love everything about this so far post-flop. Everything looks really good post. End up getting a call. End up getting another call. And go 3-way to it. Bricks off. And here decides to jam. So as it turns out, there's a fold and another fold, and we end up picking up the pot and winning, and that's all well and good. But at the end, Julien asks this: should I just have checked as it played? No. Going back to the turn, I would not have checked here. I think that they probably have a lot of things like flush draws, maybe over pairs, maybe single pair plus draw. I don't know. All I know is that I don't expect a lot of folds here, and I really would not want to check, give flush draws, or anything really, just a free chance to screw me. And the other question is, maybe should I bet $40 to $60 instead of just going for 72? And I think not, right? When we bet 72, they're getting a great price, almost 5 to 1. I mean, this is just the kind of situation where, you know, if they're going to fold flush draws getting break on it, that's their thing. If they're going to fold single pairs, that's their thing. I don't think shaving off 20, 30 bucks off your bet size is going to get them to continue that much more liberally. I think post-flop, you played the hand really, really well. I love the sizing all the way around. Yes, this just is what it is. The fact you didn't get called in the turn is extremely bizarre to me by at least one person, but it is what it is, right? We end up picking up a pot uncontested. No flush draws got there. Sweet, awesome, winning pot pots is always fun. But again, the major important inflection point here is preflop. Again, understanding when and why we're open limping. Understanding that, again, if people are going to fold to your preflop raise, that's awesome. Just raise more preflop until they eventually adjust, and then you can adjust as well. It's a pretty easy thing from there. But if you find yourself open limping a large chunk of the time, especially out of boredom or frustration, it's definitely something you're going to want to look to fix in your game ASAP. So Julien, thank you very much for the great hand. If you or anyone else has a poker hand you'd like me to review in a video, feel free to send it to me directly at splitsuit.com/send. You can always ask me a poker question at splitsuit.com/ask. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or thoughts on this hand, feel free to drop a comment. Otherwise, I'll see you back next week with a brand new video, and in the meantime, good luck out there and happy grinding.